Alright, hello everybody. Hello, what's up? You're watching your very own, your favorite short note series by Connect Media. My name is Prince Osei. You can call me Prince the MC, and I'm in charge of things on this show. Now, I must say that I appreciate your comments. I mean, every single day I get an email. I appreciate them so much. They are very constructive. Keep them coming in. Today, we are diving a little bit into the legal world, alright? We're discussing a very interesting topic. We're discussing human rights. To help me with this discussion, I have with me two very beautiful young ladies, and then I'll give them the chance to introduce themselves. Then we'll take it from there. I think I'll start from my lady in pink.
I'm Joanna Hado.
Yeah, Joanna Hado. Joanna, what do you do?
I do banking and finance.
So you're a banker, and you're studying banking and finance.
I'm studying banking.
Oh, okay. Then, okay.
Nanaya.
You're also a student, I suppose.
Yes, I'm a law student.
You're a law student, okay. I think we're lucky to have you on the show. You're going to give us detailed breakdowns on human rights and all the legalese and stuff like that. Alright, so like I said, we're discussing human rights and then fundamental human rights. So we don't want to waste any time, we are going straight into the discussion. Now, Joanna, what are our rights? What do you think rights are?
They are kind of like freedoms, like, the freedoms people have to do certain stuff, not to do certain stuff, I guess.
Okay, and then what does our lawyer think? What are our rights?
Rights connote the liberties and freedoms that are inherent in humans. I mean, no, by virtue of birth, you are entitled to, yes.
Now, we are here to educate people, okay? And so if you say inherent, and you say connote,
that's what
we don't understand. Yeah, we understand you're a law student, but we beg you, please break it down for us. What do you mean connotes? What do you mean inherent?
rights
Yeah.
are basically the liberties and freedoms all human beings have by virtue of by virtue of life.
Okay, so by inherent, you mean once you're born, you have those rights.
Yes.
And then what are the fundamental ones? What are the fundamental human rights?
The fundamental human rights are the rights that cannot be derogated from. They cannot wait. Listen. They cannot listen. The basic rights you cannot do away with them.
Okay, so I think you can say inherent again, if I'm right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, as a people, like people of the country, Ghana, I'm sure these rights that we have don't just come up, I mean, out of the blue or something. These rights come from somewhere, okay? I'm sure, I don't know, but you should be in a better position to tell us. But Joanne, first, where do you think these rights come from? Because I don't think it's just for someone to say that I have the right to life or I have the right to own this property. I'm sure there should be some backing, you understand? So, where do the rights come from?
I think they come from the Constitution.
The Constitution, okay. Now, I don't know, and so we think we'll ask our lawyer
Yes.
where the rights come from.
Yes. The rights stem from the Constitution, as you said.
They stem from the Constitution, and where do they root to?
They come from the Constitution
Okay.
by virtue of being a citizen. So, in chapters 5 and 6 of the 1992 Constitution,
Straight.
your rights are stated.
Okay, so is it just the Constitution?
No, we have international treaties and declarations as well.
Okay.
The most noted being the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
The EDHR.
The-
So that's on the international level.
Yes.
But if we are going to the municipal level, it's the Constitution.
Yes.
Chapters 5 and 6 of the Constitution, you
Yes.
said. Okay. Now we want to go into details, the fundamental ones. Okay. So tell us about the fundamental human rights. Yeah, you.
Fundamental examples of what?
Yeah, you can give us examples and
Okay.
then we'll continue from there.
So examples of the fundamental human rights: right to life, right to education, right to shelter, right to free movement, association.
So by that you mean every individual has the right to shelter, has the right to go to school, has the right to, what else do you say?
Freedom of movement.
Freedom of movement. Okay.
Speech.
Do you have any, Joanne?
Right to marriage and family.
Right to marriage and family. Is she right?
Yeah, she's right.
Like, Now, if I remember correctly, you said everyone has the right to shelter.
Yeah.
Right. So, how about those people on the streets, the homeless people on the streets? Does it mean the state is infringing on their rights? Because the state is responsible for the citizens, if I'm correct. And then everybody has the right to shelter. So if people are on the streets, not in homes, I think the state has to be punished. But it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it should work that way.
No, it shouldn't work that way either. Right to shelter doesn't mean that the state has to provide you shelter. It means the state cannot come and just uproot you from wherever you are without giving a legal basis for that.
Okay, so that's what you mean by right to shelter.
Yes.
And then what about those communities where like parents don't allow their children to school, but help their parents at their worksites and stuff like that? I think it's well understood in those regions. But then, if we're going into the legal arena, is it illegal?
It is illegal. It's stated in the Constitution as well as the PHR, and they can be penalized. They can be asked to pay a fine or serve a sentence in jail.
Okay, for not allowing your child to go to school.
Yes.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it on the show. If your parents don't want you to go to if your parents don't want you to go to school, you can sue your parents. If your parents don't want you to go if your parents don't want you to go to school, you can sue your parents. I mean, you get a whole lot of money. Now, I know these rights aren't absolute because, I mean, our population is like over millions, right? And so definitely, somebody will, in one way or the other, infringe his or her friend, you understand? And so, how does everybody's rights come into play? Because definitely, like people say, where your rights ends, someone else's begins. And so, I'm sure these rights aren't absolute. Like, there should be exceptions somewhere, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So what are the exceptions to some of these rights? John, yeah, I think you should help us here.
For the exceptions, you're supposed to tell us because like I don't really know anything about.
Yeah, so to the fundamental ones, there should be exceptions.
Yeah,
right?
there are the exceptions.
Can you tell us some of them?
Yeah. The Constitution itself, Article 12.2, says that where an individual it states that an individual's rights and liberties are subject to the respect of the rights and liberties of others,
Okay.
as well as public interest.
Okay.
And so there are exceptions for every right, and it's even stated in the Constitution. So for for right to, for example, right to freedom of movement,
Okay.
the exceptions, for instance, where you commit a crime and the state can or the court can put you into jail
Okay.
and to serve a sentence.
Yeah, and then I also hear of people getting killed because they commit certain offenses.
Yeah.
I think that should fall under the exceptions, if I'm right.
Yeah, it's an exception.
It's an exception.
Yes.
So if you kill somebody, you're also going to be killed. That's how it works.
No, that's not how it works.
But you said it's an exception, and people are killed for killing. So if I kill you, it means
Don't
I'll
take
die.
my words out of context.
So what do you mean?
Everyone has the right to life,
Okay.
but that right can be curtailed. For instance, where
That right can be what?
curtailed. That right
I don't
can
understand curtailed.
it can be taken away from you
Okay.
under certain circumstances. So where, for instance, someone commits murder, the accused has the court is most likely to give the accused three options:
Okay.
the death penalty, a sentence in jail, like life imprisonment, or a number of years in jail. So
Okay.
the death penalty is legal, even though in practice the last time it was used was in 1993, and since then it's not been used in Ghana. So in practice it's been abolished, but in theory it's still in existence.
So what you're saying is that it is legal for the court to sentence you to death if you commit murder, but then since
And other crimes,
another crimes, what other crimes?
treason,
Treason. What's treason?
committing a crime against the state.
Oh, okay, crime against the state.
Yeah.
So if I go and kill the state, that's treason.
Okay, kill this
So probably betraying.
betraying, yes,
Okay.
betraying the state.
Yeah. So you're saying that it is legal for the court to sentence you to death
Yes.
if it's so like if the need be.
Yeah.
But then since '93, It hasn't happened.
Yes.
What are the reasons? I mean, why hasn't it happened?
I'm sure you've heard of Amnesty International.
Okay.
I think we are, I'm not sure. I know we uphold their values and stuff. Our state does. So, and one of the most important values of Amnesty is the right to life. They completely, don't take the big word. They place disdain on the death penalty. So in countries where the death penalty is being used often, they often have demonstrations and what do you call it? They have something to say about it. They are always against it. So I think because we are now, I don't know if you remember, we uphold those sort of values.
Okay.
We don't practice that anymore. But in theory, it's still there.
It's in the books.
It's in the books, yes. But since no president has agreed to sign
since '93,
the death penalty, we have criminals, and the death penalty has been placed on them, but they can't. I mean, they are just there. They are not going to be killed. They are just going to be dead.
Okay. Now, we chose this topic because this topic is a very interesting one. It has a lot of branches, and then you can't, in most cases, you can't discuss the branches without striking some emotions, right? So we want to discuss some aspects of human rights, okay, that are very controversial, right? We'll let us say what we think of them, and then we go into the books, into the law, what the law thinks of them, right? So we're going to be discussing homosexuality, we're going to be discussing child trafficking, we're going to be discussing, what's the last one? Female genital mutilation, and as well as corporal punishment, right? So let's take it bit by bit. Joanne, do you have a gay friend?
Oh yes, I do.
You have a gay friend? So you think there's nothing wrong with being gay?
Nah, the point that I have a gay friend doesn't mean I don't think
But
there's anything wrong
say
with
show me
being
your
gay.
friend and I'll show you your
I
character.
know, like, I'm friends with them, like, because I'm friends with them, not because of their sexual orientation or anything.
Okay, so like in your own respect, I mean, what do you think of homosexuality?
I actually think it's very wrong, like, why should you be a homosexual?
Why shouldn't you be a homosexual?
I mean, that's not how it was supposed to be. Like,
How is it supposed to be?
if God wanted it to happen, God would have created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eve.
So what if those who practice homosexuality aren't Christians?
But then, like, it's actually not the right way. Like, how do you feel? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right.
So it's
right?
a whole idea of something going where it's not supposed to go.
Yeah, like, it's just
so
not
you
right.
don't like homosexuals.
No.
Yeah. What do you think of homosexuality? No, first of all, do you have a gay friend?
Yeah.
You have a gay friend. You have gay friends.
Yes.
Friends.
Yes.
Wow. Clap for them. And then, what do you think of homosexuality?
I feel like it's nobody's business.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like what happens in the bedroom is nobody's business unless there's no mutual consent. It shouldn't be anyone's business.
Okay, so I don't know how to explain what you said to me.
As in,
You're saying
I'm saying
as long as there's consent.
yes, and consent between two people who have come of age, two or more people who have come of age.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So it's none of your business.
Okay, so if somebody is gay, you don't have a problem with the fact that the person is gay.
No,
You're cool with
I
it.
don't. Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you and I don't agree on
No,
this.
that's all.
But then, like, let's go into the books. What does the law say about homosexuality? I'm sure it should be somewhere in the law that talks about homosexuality. If I'm right.
Yeah, the criminal code mentions unnatural. The criminal code mentions unnatural carnal knowledge as a crime. But as to what that is, you can define it yourself. Maybe the homosexuals feel like what they are doing is natural.
It's natural.
Yeah.
No, but I want our viewers to understand.
It doesn't really
So,
seem
like,
natural to me.
what is natural carnal knowledge?
what a man and woman penetration,
so the correct
vaginal
way.
sex.
Yeah, the correct thing.
And unnatural
No,
canal.
not okay. Unnatural kind
The
is.
abnormal way.
It's not. Don't say abnormal. It's the foreign way, foreign to
Okay,
Ghanaian
so
culture.
what that means is that since it's not spelled out in the books that homosexuality is illegal, it means that even if it is a man and a woman that's do it in an unnatural way, it's still an offense. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. If you are going strictly by the law, yes.
So then you can as well say that being gay in a country is illegal. That's it.
No.
Yes.
Then that's why I think that's why if people want to accept gay like something outside, they actually make amend laws or
Yeah, but if you don't make laws to ban it either, it's still. I mean, it's just it's a gray area because there are no laws saying don't do it, and there are no laws saying it's okay.
Yeah.
and
it's
the
just a
unnatural canal something
No,
yes. Yeah, like actually means that it's wrong, like because they're not using the right means.
So-
Like,
So,
they're using the right
so
means.
are you saying if a man and a woman decide to have can I say no? Can I say it?
What's the people saying? I was like,
Okay. I don't know. Okay. So if a man and a woman decide to have anal sex, you're saying it's illegal. Then that's
Okay,
what
well,
you're saying.
I haven't actually like heard of that. But then, like, why should you have anal sex when
there's no
majority? Okay, well.
So in the books it says it's an offense to have unnatural carnal knowledge.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that in some jurisdictions it has been like put in their laws and so it's legal.
Yeah.
And I think prominent of those jurisdictions is the United States, and I think they are doing well as a country. I mean,
Yeah.
as a country,
you're
economically,
trying to
politically.
say-
So what's stopping us? We are suffering, and then we don't want to allow homosexuals.
Oh no, baby. Is it because they've accepted the
No, you
homosexuality?
can't be too
But they don't place an emphasis on the sexual orientation. I mean, it's not about you achieving what you want. Here, we just lynch them anyhow. We just
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now, yes. Has there been any homosexual case tried in the country? Because, to the best of my knowledge, I mean, right from high school to university, if you catch a gay couple, you just destroy their lives. You batter them till they are crying and they are devastated, and you understand? Like,
which
these
is
are-
wrong, which is infringing on
which-
their rights.
which personally I think is the right way. I mean, if you don't know the natural means, you have to beat the natural means.